Hey, what's up, everybody? We're doing our rant and rave a little bit different today because it's our 100th video. Surprise! Yeah, I didn't know we were up to 100 either, but yeah, we are up to 100, so we actually are doing something kind of special for this one. We are doing the normal rant and rave format. We're going to be talking about our favorite consoles, but instead of just me, Aaron, and Scotty, we reached out to a local Brotrio fan and got him to come on camera and talk about his favorite console. So with that being said, this is our rant and rave with guest star Brotrio fanatic David.
Overall, I would have to say my favorite video game console is the Nintendo Entertainment System, or NES as most people call it. Like, first of all, it saved video games in general. Like, that alone should put it up there. But the library of games it had, like all three Mario Brothers games, Battletoads, Zelda, Mega Man, so many franchises that people still are actively playing today and going back and playing the old games. Like, it was a cultural phenomenon. Sega came in and messed it up a little bit, but it still just held strong for decades as one of the best consoles in the public eye. And I just spent so many years banging away on those buttons when I was a kid, learning all the levels and the combos, and the games are just plain fun, and you owe yourself the pleasure of playing them if you haven't yet. So dust off your old NES out of the attic if you have one, download an emulator, if you can find it, buy an NES Classic, and just get some of these games in your system, because they are just fantastic.
Nintendo Entertainment System. Now you're playing with power.
The absolute best video game console of all time is the Super Nintendo. Holy crap, did they come out of that? Just everything. They threw everything they had at the Super Nintendo, and everything stuck. It was absolutely amazing. Yeah, there were some third-party duds like Bubsy, but who cares? Nintendo didn't make that. They made Super Metroid. They made A Link to the Past. They made Super Mario friggin' World. They made, well, never mind. Squaresoft made Secret of Mana, but it's still awesome. Final Fantasy VI. And there was just so many. Super Mario All-Stars, there was a bunch of remakes, but it was fantastic. And had such a better controller than the NES. Still one of my favorite controllers. Maybe that's nostalgia. I don't know. But I love it. I love everything the Super Nintendo did. But the Big Papa, the main event to me of the Super Nintendo, it produced my favorite game of all time. Frickin' Chrono Trigger. God. Of all the awesome games on the Super Nintendo, Chrono Trigger was, like, by far my favorite. But God, there were just so many good games. Like, we made a top 10 Super Nintendo games list way back, and it took up 2 videos because we couldn't stop talking about these games. They were all so good. Everything on Super Nintendo pretty much was good. Just go get a Super Nintendo Classic if you can find one. It has like 20 amazing games on it. There's so few like bad games that are actually like any kind of popular on there. Oh my god, it was so good. Super Nintendo did everything right in an era when like the console wars were like seemed to be at their fiercest. Super Nintendo came in and just kind of started the beginning of the end for Sega, I feel like, because after that, like, Nintendo does what Sega don't.
Now you're playing with power, superpower.
I think I would have to say my favorite video game console would probably be the Gamecube. just because it's got such a wide variety of games. Like the game library for the GameCube, it's just like very vast and it's so varied. It doesn't hurt that it's got one of my favorite games of all time on it. Legend of Zelda Wind Waker is just incredible. Double Dash for Mario Kart was amazing. And it really holds a special place in my heart because it was the first console I ever purchased with my own money. Like me and Scotty, I mean technically we split it, but me and Scotty saved up our money and put it towards buying this console. And it was the first one we ever technically bought ourselves and didn't have to share between all three of us. We shared it between two of us. But still, like, it was amazing. And I mean, Super Mario Sunshine was my favorite 3D Mario until Odyssey came out. And God, not to mention, like, the biggest jump of all, which was Metroid Prime. Because for the longest time, everyone was just like, oh yeah, the GameCube can't do this, it doesn't have good graphics. Then Metroid Prime came out, and it was just like, holy shit, the GameCube does have good graphics. And not to mention, the controller is just a godsend. It's one of the best controllers of all time. And Nintendo knows it because they still, like, support it. Like, they made it available for Smash Brothers for Wii U because it's such, like, a coveted, like, lovable controller. And people are just love it so much. And the fact that the controller itself has stood the test of time, not to mention the GameCube with all its durability and everything has stood the test of time, is why it's my favorite gaming console. Because it's just awesome.
I think I'd have to say that my favorite video game console of all time is probably the original Xbox. It was a difficult decision between the original Xbox, which was like the first console that I ever got, and the PlayStation 2, which was the first console that I just spent endless hours on. However, between Halo 1 and Mech Assault, which was like my favorite game for a lot of years, I think I'd have to say that the original Xbox is my favorite. In fact, I still have a functioning, workable Xbox at my house that I pull out and play with my little sister sometime. But yeah, between Halo 1 and especially Halo 2, I played the campaign on Halo 2 over and over and over, and I sucked at it every time. But I enjoyed it. I loved it. I loved the controllers. I loved all like the weird, stupid sounds, and I really, really loved that I never got the Red Ring of Death, because that was like a constant fear of mine. But yeah, I think the original Xbox would have to be my favorite console of all time.
Hey, thanks for watching. Did you like the video? Why don't you hit that like and subscribe button? It really helps us grow the channel. And don't forget to ring that bell to join our notification squad. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I put the links in the description just to make it easier for you to get to. And we will catch you next time for the next video from the Brotrio.